I blew my first trading account because of Martingale, not because the strategy worked too slowly, not because it wasn't profitable, but because I didn't fully understand the risks. Today, I want to share the story of how that failure eventually led me to develop a completely different approach to automated trading. My name is Mohsen, and I started my Forex journey in 22. Like many beginners, I was fascinated by indicators. Every new indicator looked like a secret weapon. I believed that if I could find the right signals, consistent profits would follow. Since I had a programming background, I decided not to trade manually. Instead of sitting in front of charts all day waiting for setups, I wanted to build trading robots that could do everything automatically. So I started coding. For nearly a year, I turned idea after idea into expert advisors. Some worked for a while, others failed immediately. But in the end, the result was always the same: losses. Then I had another idea. If one strategy was losing while another was winning, maybe running several strategies together would create a stable system. Unfortunately, it didn't. Sometimes all of the strategies lost at the same time. Other times the profits were too small to recover the losses. Still, I kept going. I often thought about a famous quote attributed to Thomas Edison: I have not failed. I've just found thousands of ways that won't work. That mindset helped me continue searching. Eventually, I came across the concept of martingale. The results were unlike anything I had seen before. I built a martingale based trading robot and opened a real account with $1,000. 3 weeks later, the account had grown to $1,700. For the first time, I felt like I had finally solved the puzzle. Then reality hit. After a Federal Reserve interest rate announcement and Jerome Powell's press conference, the market moved aggressively against my positions. In less than an hour, all of my profits disappeared. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept checking my phone, watching my margin level drop lower and lower. I didn't want to close the positions and accept defeat, but I was afraid the losses would continue growing. The next morning, my account was gone. That experience changed everything. I deleted every trading robot and every indicator I had ever created. I told myself I was finished with automated trading. For the next few years, I focused on manual trading and technical analysis. I studied obsessively. I watched countless educational videos, read books, tested ideas, and even spent some time teaching technical analysis. But one question never left my mind. If these methods were truly so effective, why was consistent profitability still so difficult? At the same time, I realized something else. I didn't enjoy sitting in front of charts for hours waiting for setups. So eventually, I returned to programming. I tried combining manual analysis with automation. I built semi automatic systems. I experimented with different approaches, but nothing produced the result I was looking for. Then I discovered something that completely changed my perspective. I joined a trading course where the instructor publicly shared the investor password to his own trading account. What caught my attention was that his approach was also based on Martingale. However, it was very different from the traditional version most traders know. That was the moment everything started to make sense. I stopped focusing only on mathematical formulas and position sizing. Instead, I began studying market selection, timing, trade sequencing, and the conditions under which certain symbols behave more predictably. I also stopped relying exclusively on backtests. Backtests can be useful, but they have limitations. This time, I wanted real world data. So I opened a demo account and started testing the strategy live. The first test produced nearly 100% profit in about 1 month. Of course, I didn't trust the result. It could have been luck, so I continued testing. I rented a VPS, documented every trading cycle, recorded every observation, and built a detailed journal. After only 6 months and 10 separate tests, the results were remarkable. 9 accounts achieved approximately 100% profit. Only one account was lost. At the point, I finally felt confident enough to move back to a real account. To make the test even more challenging, I used a micro account where spreads and slippage would have a greater impact on performance. Once again, the results exceeded my expectations. The account doubled in about 6 weeks. That's when I realized something important. The key wasn't simply Martingale. The real edge came from understanding position sequencing, risk distribution, market selection, and knowing when a particular symbol was suitable for this type of strategy. In fact, I eventually developed a surprisingly simple method for identifying potentially favorable market conditions because I know online trading statements can be manipulated. I wanted complete transparency. From the beginning, I shared investor passwords for my trading accounts through my Telegram channel and Instagram page so people could monitor the results directly. Some of those accounts were later removed by brokers due to inactivity, which was something I hadn't anticipated. However, the people who followed my journey were able to observe the results in real time and verify them for themselves. In this channel, I'm not here to sell a dream. I'm not here to claim that trading is easy. And I'm definitely not here to tell you that there is a perfect strategy. What I want to do is share my real experiences, my successes, my failures, my research, and everything I've learned during this journey. In the videos that follow, I'll break down individual trading cycles, compare live results with backtests, discuss what worked and what didn't, and explain how my approach evolved over time. If you are interested in algorithmic trading, risk management, and seeing real trading results instead of marketing promises, consider subscribing and following this series. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.